The following audio recording has been designed for learning purposes only. Do not share, distribute, or provide any type of copies, or this audio lesson will not be made available to you. Good luck with today's lesson.
We got another one.
What's that?
We got another one. We're good.
There we go. Okay. Well, it's 9:30 now exactly, so we can go. No one coming in? Okay. This is a small class. Next class is small class too. So I don't know. Why. Well, so you guys don't keep going. So it's instead of a speech, it's gonna be more of a conversation.
I'm happy.
You're happy about that?
Which
Oh.
was like that.
Well, trust me, one of your speeches will probably be like that. How come?
Hopefully the next one.
Oh, that was only 3 minutes. That's.
We're fine. I'll take the 6-minute one.
There we go. Okay, but before we get to those, I want to pass out something. I said, and I'll have to repeat this later, but I've got the. If you've got the textbook already, cool. If you haven't yet, you'll still want this. These are the pages from the textbook that you'll need for your speeches. So, if you want to tear them out or make a copy of them or whatever, these are the pages for the speeches that you'll need. Okay, so just hold on to this. The first speech, the one you're giving today, the one you already gave, that's not on here, obviously. But the other speeches that you need in the scriptures for Tuesday, that's on here. That's page 342. So this is just basically, again, if you've got the textbook, you'll see, if you turn to these pages, you'll see that's the page you need. So rather than lugging the book here and everything, oops.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, you just came in. These are the pages to from the book, from the textbook, for all the speeches you have to give. So, like starting from this Tuesday, in the manuscript speech, just tear out page 342 or make a copy of it or whatever. But that's the page for all your other speeches. Those are them. Okay, so now we got 3 speakers today. You haven't gone yet, right? Okay, 3 speakers. Cool. Those are just the pages for your speeches. Okay. Well, then I will sit back there. Let me grab a pen. All of your speeches for you on Tuesday. Your grades from your speeches, if you already went. So those 3 who haven't gone yet, if you can just maybe on a piece of paper write your name, because I haven't gotten everyone's name yet. Just write your name on it. I'm going to sit back there and watch you. And just stand up here and be ready to go. I do need my coffee. So. So, let's see. You have to go. You are, Brennan?
I am.
Okay, Brennan, you've got to go. Veronica's got to go. And who's go? Oh, you have to go too?
Yep.
Okay, most of us go. Really? Okay. So, did you guys, all 4 of you are just going talking about yourself, right? Okay, cool. Whoever wants to go first? Okay. Thank you, sir. You know, come on. No, you can still go up there. You can still go up there. I mean, I textbook with me, so I know what to grade you on. Hold on 1 second. Has anyone gone to the, I don't even know what it's called, the bookstore across the street in Bunner? I'm just curious to know if they're selling it text over. Sometimes they sell them a little cheaper there. Sometimes there's a little competition going on between the two. Okay. Take this out. 1 second. Okay, whenever you are ready, sir.
All right, so my partner kind of bailed on me, so I just answered some of the questions on here. My name is Andrew. I'm 20 years old. I was born boringly here in Warren, Michigan. My job is I'm training to be a general manager for Five Guys at 12 and Mound. My last meal, if I had to pick one, would be a steak. Favorite color is blue. My degree is business management, and I'll be transferring to Oakland after one more year here. My dream place to live would be California. Music, I listen to a little bit of everything, but mostly rap. Favorite movie is Wolf of Wall Street. Favorite subject is science. If I had to be any superhero, even though this doesn't really have superpowers, probably be Iron Man. My favorite sports team is the Lakers. I have a German Shepherd. Like to trade stocks, like cars. That's about it.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Andrew. All right. All right, very nice. Okay. Brendan, you want to go? Yeah. Let's get it. All right. Well, I'm not collecting anything. You can hold on to that. But if, I'll just write your name on it. I'm not collecting for this one or for your next one. Okay, whenever you are set, sir.
So, hello, my name is Brennan Hopper. I was born here in Sterling Heights, Michigan. My favorite color is blue. My favorite movie is Avengers Endgame, and my favorite hobby is mile railroading. I graduated from Stevenson High School, which is near Dodge Park. If I had to pick a superpower, it would be super speed. Then I would have the power to be in two places at once. My favorite food would have to be tacos because of the amount of different ingredients you can put on it. The most popular music I listen to would be either Disney or 80s rock and roll. I'm also participating in a volunteer program called the Police Explorers, and it is over at the Sterling Heights Police Station. I hope y'all enjoyed my speech.
All right. Thanks, Brendan. Tacos every day? See, I was thinking pizza. Same principle. You can put anything you want. But yeah, same thing. Okay, ladies. You know the toy? Oh, Brian's getting over. You're going to go sometime. You're going to. Okay. Oh, get that one. Hold on. Okay, whenever you're set.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Shirley, and I am 27 years old, and I'm majoring into dental hygiene, and I love pets. I have a Pomeranian, and I love my hobbies are I love to travel, and one of the places that I've been to that I love is Turks and Caicos because I love to be by the beach, and the waters there were like really beautiful, and I also really enjoy being outdoors. Hiking and biking is always fun and therapeutic for me, and I love to try new restaurants. My husband and I love to eat, so, and other than that, I just look forward to traveling more.
Okay, cool. Shirley? Okay, last but not least, I just realized saying your name all the time kind of ruins the surprise, so last but not least, our last speaker. Okay, whenever you're set.
Okay. My name is Veronica. I am 18. This is my sophomore year. I'm a Libra. I was born in Florida. My favorite food is chicken, whether it's like chicken tenders or chicken nuggets. If I could visit anywhere, it'd be Italy because I love the food and the culture. If I could have one superpower, it'd be to be a mind reader or to be invisible. I have one dog, one cat, and my favorite movie is The Godfather.
Okay.
That's it.
Good choice. Very good choice. All right. So now we know. Oh, no, you haven't gone yet. Wow, you just You would have lost points, but I'm glad you're honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to lose points.
What's that? Yeah, there's points to everything. Okay, whenever you're set.
Hi, my name is Jeff Mansour. I'm 22 years old. I'm a senior. I'm actually enrolled at Detroit Mercy, but I'm just taking an off semester here because school's expensive. What else? I do not know what my astrological sign is because I'm a guy. Hobbies, enjoy video games, occasionally working out every 6 months. And yeah.
Alright, very good. What else do you need to know, right? All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? What's that? Anyone else? Okay, that's cool. Now I think I know. Now we all know each other. Cool. All right. Yeah, this is a small class.
That's a textbook.
What's that? This is a textbook, yeah.
Not that big.
They're all the same. Yeah.
It's not bad.
If you find a smaller one, you got ripped off. Yeah, this is it, I'm afraid. It's a big one. Yeah. I like to say more for your money, but anyway. Okay, so excellent, excellent. Now, before we get into chapter 3. Now, if you came in late too, if you didn't get one of these, let me know. Raise your hand if you didn't get one of these. This is basically the pages again. Did you get one of these? Okay. Yeah. Again, these are just the pages to the speeches. So again, just the day of the speech is like on Tuesday. It's page 342 from your text. So all right, cool. All right. Before we start talking about nonverbal communication, this is the benefits of this little wrinkle of cleaning up your den. You find articles that you thought you threw away. This really pertains to what we talked about on Tuesday about speech anxiety. It's a good article. It's an excellent article. And it's good because it talks about something your book does not bring up at all. Something we didn't talk about at all on Tuesday. We covered just about everything on Tuesday. So, it's pretty short, pretty interesting. We'll read it, and then we will discuss it. I'll read it too, because it's been a little while. Bless you. Okay. So, first of all, I hope no one here ever had a miscaption in your school days. If you did, I'm sorry if I brought back any bad memories. I hope you don't have any nightmares. I think I had a miscaption. So, what does the writer say that kind of got her over that hump? What kind of made it easier for her? You know, she doesn't bring up any of the things we talked about. That's not to say what we talked about on Tuesday is bad. But what helped her get it easier for her? What did she say? Something makes it easier. Yeah.
She remembers she talked to her grandma? Or?
Oh, well, that's one good thing. Yeah, we should remember talking about her grandma and thinking about her birthday too. I forgot about that. Thinking about it was going to be her birthday, celebrating that. But in case your speech doesn't fall on your birthday, all right, what can you do? For instance, one thing, which again, you know, here's a clue. You know, when we talked on Tuesday, it was all about what you can do, all right, about you, which is appropriate, right? I mean, you're the one giving the speech. But what does she bring up? You remember the whole communication model, sender, receiver, speaker, audience. What does she bring up and say? Don't forget this, and it kind of helps you. Let's see. If I can find it. The audience, yeah. Remember who the audience is. She talks about it, she's saying, you got to remember who the audience is, and you've got to kind of tell yourself, what I'm teaching, what I'm telling this audience is so important. It doesn't matter if I'm nervous. It doesn't matter if I'm scared. I've got to tell this audience something. In her case, the one speech about yoga, she saw how happy they were. It's important that I teach them this. I don't know, the other one was teaching the football players, whatever it was. It was so important for her to teach these football players this so they can pass and they can continue to play football. That's the whole key thing. Sometimes you have to tell yourself, yeah, I'm nervous, yeah, I'm scared, yeah, I'm this and this, but you know what? I picked the right topic, and it is important that the audience know this, okay? It's so important. You can maybe even dramatize it. You know, Veronica gives a speech on how to make the perfect devil's food chocolate cake. It sounds pretty good right now, okay? So, to get her over that hump, she might think, you know what? Someday, let's see, we're going to pick on, someday, Jeffrey's going to have the party, 5 years from now. He's stressing out, thinking, what kind of dessert am I going to have? Oh my gosh, I remember hearing a speech on the perfect devil's food chocolate cake, all right? Saved his day, saved his party, okay? If that works for you, great. That's just one more strategy to use, okay? You should always know your audience, But, like this article says, yeah, you got to convince yourself, no matter if I'm nervous or not, stressed out or not, this audience is not going to find out about this topic any other way. I'm the expert, all right? I got to teach them that. So it helps. Okay, now you guys, let's see. And there's a method to my madness. Okay, so Shirley and Brennan, you guys are with these two guys. You're a group. Well, you guys are a group. That's easy enough. So I'm going to give you a minute. I just want you guys to get in your groups. And, again, a method to my madness. I want you to talk about, for just a few minutes, you're not in Warren, Michigan anymore. You are in Sandusky, Ohio, at Cedar Point, or I don't know, your favorite amusement park, okay? And I want you to talk about your favorite amusement park rides, okay? I mean the ones that you're willing to wait in line for 2 hours. I'm talking about the ones that, 2 hours is pretty short nowadays for my hair. The ones that you're willing to the ones that you don't want to go on after you've eaten an elephant ear, okay? You don't go on after lunch or anything, and the ones that you're going to get sick on. So, just go for it. Get in those groups, and again, I'll explain why. So you guys just slide over. Or however you want to do it. Just talk about amusement park rides. And there's a reason why. Yeah, you 5 are in a group, and these 4. And there is a reason.
Yeah, I like those too.
Like, what Have you guys been to amusement parks? Never been on a roller coaster?
I've been to, I've never been on a roller coaster.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. You've been on any ride? Have you ever been on any ride at an amusement park? You've never been on any ride?
never been to a theme park.
Any kind of theme park? Have you ever been on a Ferris wheel? Have you ever been on any kind of ride? Have you ever?
No, I've had a.
You've seen them though.
I've seen it.
All right. Well, then talk about which ones
Well,
look
it's different
good.
than riding.
Still, you've got an opinion. Share it, man. Which ones would you like to go on? Which ones would you not want to go on? Jacob, you are not working, man. You are not working.
No, I said a sad childhood, man.
You've seen pictures.
Okay, but I'm not on the ride.
That's all I need. You just got to tell me a picture. Have you seen a video of one? If you just seen a video of one, that's all it works. If you're familiar with one.
We can talk about how hard it is. Most of us have been there.
They had to stop the ride.
It's like a Charlie Brown.
I was crying because I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
What?
And I stayed and finished the ride.
And there. Either one. I've been to that stupid place.
I think the power towers can be the most. Because when you're up there, you're like, you don't really know when you're gonna fall.
I'm just chilling.
That one scares me, even though it's not that scary.
I like that feeling. I don't know why.
The adrenaline.
Not like one you have to sign
I
away
don't know
for.
why.
They're like crazy. Yeah.
What's that one ride that like makes your head feel like it was gonna fall?
And do like that. They don't like keep you in there.
Only if I could bring it very small.
They like can like dunk your head in the ground.
Everyone touches me, you're getting a broken heart.
Yeah, my mom used to take us when we were back younger every year, but then I stopped going for a while, and now I go and get like headaches and stuff.
Same.
Isn't that really fun yet?
Yeah, it's been really old.
I don't know, like years.
You ever try
Wasn't
like
terrible.
I heard it
Wasn't the best.
Yeah, I have.
They were.
I've taken it.
I
don't
had fun.
Like, I get so excited about rides, I won't take. Like, I don't miss it.
All crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
You're in Pontiac.
My girlfriend did this roller
I
coaster.
thought you were talking about like clowns.
The scariest part about it.
Yeah, I
Since you get
guess.
sick.
I like it though, it's fun.
Since you like
Have
it,
you ever
yeah.
been to electricity?
I was about to say that. I love
Took her on
it.
a leg massage for her first ride.
Really? When I went, I had to count my leg.
She was
But I mean, like, I didn't want to count it outside.
She was mad, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
that's
you
why.
didn't notice you didn't notice anything across the
Needless to
street.
say, we got hot
She just kept on.
Well, no, and I also
Is
like,
there
you know what?
Yeah.
Where that thing looks like an airport is? Like the big tents. Again, I had to drive.
I think they usually have those at like Carnival.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put you guys out of your misery. This is actually the winter semester gets into it more because it's usually like 5 degrees outside. So like, oh yeah, thinking fond memories of being someplace warm. So you can stay where you're at. You can go back to your desk. But okay, I told you there's a method to my madness, and there's a reason why I brought all this up. Why I'm having you do this. I believe that now. If you know what we're going to talk about, we're talking about nonverbal communication. Okay, and again, we were saying we spent up to 60 to 70, 75% of our communication is nonverbal. Okay, you might think, oh, I talk all the time. That can't be. It's true. It's true. Most of our communication is nonverbal. And I believe there are some subjects out there that we can't help but use nonverbal communication. We can't help but use our hands. Okay? You guys prove me wrong. All right? Maybe it's just too early in the morning. I saw Nicole do something like that at the end. Yeah, I'm not sure what ride that is, but all right, but it doesn't seem too stomach churning or anything like that. I could probably handle that. Jeffrey, you were doing one like going like this. I'm not sure what that is. You said a terror tower or something like that. You know, the ones that you go way up like an elevator that just comes down like that. I never had the pleasure of going on that. So, the best day of my life was when my son was tall enough to go on rides by himself, and I did not have to go on any amusement roller coaster rides or any crap like that again. I'm like so good because I don't like those kind of rides, roller coasters. But my wife wouldn't go on, so I had to go on with him when he was a kid. So, But yeah, roller coasters, amusement park rides. You know, if you're talking about amusement park rides, and someone's going like this, what kind of ride are they probably talking about? A dragon one, but if they're going like this, what specifically are they talking? What kind of ride do you think that is? Right, roller coaster, right? Roller coasters tend to go a little high up, then they come down like that, then they go up. If they're going like this, with a circle, Ferris wheel, Ferris wheel. I mean, one goes, that's it. Kind of boring, but that's what they do. The ones that go like this, they're called all kinds of things. Timbuktu, Himalaya. Those are the ones that you lose your stomach on. You just go like that and they go real fast, okay? But that's using gestures, using your hands, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? Nonverbal. Because you use your hands, you use gestures and such all the time, okay? Nonverbal. And you use it a lot when you give your speech. And I'm going to be looking for it, all right? Looking for it a lot. Even for your next speech. I know it's your first real speech. But I'm going to be looking for it, okay? So, why is nonverbal important? Well, again, you know, people are going to be looking for it. So we're going to be talking about all the different kinds of nonverbal communication, all right? I haven't seen the whole chapter, but I'm sure it's no different from the last edition, all right? It's a whole big chapter. Nonverbal goes from using gestures to the clothes you wear. Your old textbook, I'm sure this one does too, even covers the perfume or cologne you wear, the jewelry you wear. I've never seen any textbook that went into that much detail. I'd hate to think that some audience would think less of a speaker because of his cologne or her perfume. But you never know. Some do. Some people do, okay? I once had a student give a really, really good speech, and after class, a young lady told me she didn't like it so much because the guy with his new haircut, I guess, looked like her old boyfriend too much. I'm like, man, that's pretty cold. What could the guy do, okay? That was pretty cold, all right? So, yeah, people are going to think like that. From the moment you get up from your seat, there's something going on. I'm already starting to lose the marker. Something going on called the silent speech. Silent speech, which is everything you're not saying, all right, verbally, but everything that the audience is picking up. From the moment you get up from your seat and start walking up here, no matter what kind of speech you give. From the hair, the clothes, everything, all right? So, let's start off with, I mentioned gestures, but let's go to clothes. All right, let's go to clothes. Do people pick up vibes on what you're wearing? I'm trying to see what people are wearing. Like, Jeffrey, who's on your shirt? Okay, that's not college. Okay. All right. Let's say if Connor is giving the speech of his life. Connor's invited to the Ann Arbor Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce is a business group. Okay. And he's really looking forward to it. He really wants to give the speech to the Ann Arbor Chamber of Commerce. Now, I understand there's a certain college, certain university in Ann Arbor. Okay? I'm sure a lot of people belong to this Chamber of Commerce, either have gone to that university, maybe their kids have gone to that university, maybe they make money, their business makes money work with that university. Connor ignores all that. Connor decides to wear his lucky Michigan State sweater and his Michigan State University tie to give a speech in Ann Arbor. Is that a good idea?
You're ballsy.
Yeah. Is that a good idea? No? Why not?
It's not appealing to the crowd.
Yeah. That audience is going to say, wow, what an idiot. But they're going to say, really? From the moment he gets up to that podium and starts talking, they're going to start thinking, this guy has nothing worthwhile to say. This guy has nothing that I'm going to listen to. Because if he's idiotic enough to wear a Michigan State tie and sweater in Ann Arbor to us, why should we listen to him? Even if it's his good luck tie and good luck sweater. All right? So clothes play a big part. All right? And when you watch a speech, you're going to pay attention to that. All right? Clothes play a big, big part. Now, there's a rule of thumb, one step above. All right. Well, before I get to that, let me go back to credibility. This is a word that you're going to hear a lot in this class. Credibility. I'm going to talk about that all the time. All right. Let's say I'm from a brokerage firm. I'm a stockbroker, and I want Shirley's money. I want her money back. She's going to invest it. I'm a guy who wants to take her money. So we have a meeting, and because I want to impress her, and I'm like Connor. I want to dress in my lucky stuff, my lucky clothes. So I wear my lucky cut-off jean shorts, my lucky tank top, my lucky beat-up sandals, and my lucky tiger cap, baseball cap. All right. And I say, Shirley, give her my spiel. Give me your money. You gonna give it to her?
No.
Why not?
You look like a bum.
Yeah.
Do I not look like the way I should?
Yeah, it's like scary.
Scare you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess I would look kind of rough like that. How do you expect me to dress if I'm a stockbroker?
More like professional.
More professional, yeah. More business-like. Maybe in a nice, Hugo Boss suit, some nice Italian leather shoes or something.
Casual.
Yeah, maybe casual, business casual, depending on the setting and everything. But yeah, to play the part, right? To dress professional. It's all about credibility. If I'm dressed the other way, yeah. I had one student through all the years actually say, I give my money to the other guy. Because that guy's got so much confidence in himself. He doesn't care what I think. I give him my money. I'm like, wow, really? Okay. Well, so he's not going to be rich one day, but maybe he will. So, but you think I'd give him my money because I trust him more. I'm like, all right. So, but everyone else would probably think, no, you got to play the part, okay? So you got to have credibility. Same thing when you're giving your speech. All right? When you're up here giving a talk, your audience is looking for credibility. If you don't play that part, if you're not dressed the way, yeah, they're going to think, I can't put my faith in this person. I can't trust this person. What they're saying, this isn't dressed right. All right? Now, this one step above rule, it's not in your textbook, but it is in others. How do you know how you should dress? One step above helps. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't work all the time, but you kind of think about, all right, know who my audience is and how they might dress. I'm going to dress a little bit better than them. Okay? Now, your first name again? Andrew. Andrew, you're giving a speech to high school students and middle school students. Assuming they dress like college students, jeans and t-shirts or sweatshirts or something like that. You're giving a speech to them. How might you dress with that one step above rule?
Probably like some khakis and a button-up shirt or a
Yeah,
polo.
that'd be cool. Yeah, perfect. Something like that. Okay? It's just one step above. All right? That's a good rule of thumb. Something like that. Now, let's say, Jacob, you're talking to students' parents after school or something like that, evening meeting. That's a little tougher, right? Because they might be coming from work, they might be dressed, all right, like that in khakis or something. They might be wearing jeans. They might be coming from work, so you don't know. How might you dress for that? The one step above.
Shoot, we go all look. We go in suits, ties, all that stuff.
That's not bad. A suit and tie, or at least a sport coat, business casual,
Yeah.
because you're not sure. I mean, you're not sure. You gotta just assume that, they're gonna be dressed all kinds of ways. So, some are gonna be wearing ties, so you might dress like that, one step above. Now, there's always a thing like, what if you go to a black tie affair? Okay, and all the guys wearing black ties, ladies, nice evening gowns. Well, you can't dress one step above that, but you're just as good as them. The point is, you always have to anticipate what's the audience going to wear. You sure don't want to dress worse than them, all right? Because they're looking at you for credibility. There's one exception. To that, okay? When you wear a uniform. And when I mean a uniform, I once had a young woman in class who was a nurse. And it was for her persuasive speech. And she was trying to persuade everyone to get a particular new immunization. All right, it just came out around that time. It was a few years ago. It wasn't around when everyone was, a kid, a little baby. All right. So as a nurse, talking about convincing us to get an immunization, how do you think she dressed? She was a nurse and she was talking about health related. How do you think she dressed? Yeah, in her scrubs. In her scrubs. She wore her nurse's outfit. All right? Because studies have shown, actually, believe it or not, you could work at McDonald's if you, who wear uniforms too, but if you work anywhere and you put on medical scrubs and you're staying somewhere, people are just going to flock to you. Oh, you know, I'm getting this really bad headaches lately. This and this. They assume you're a medical person, even though you've never even been to a doctor's office. They think you're medical oriented. So, yeah, this young lady, she wore her scrubs. That's her uniform. All right. If you're giving a speech on how to ski, had a guy who did that one time. He tried walking in the room with his skis on, and he took out a couple people in the back row, so he had to take them off. But you know, carry your skis, wear your winter outfit and everything like that. If you're giving a speech on karate or judo, maybe wear the, what's it called, the gi? Wear that, okay? Your uniform, okay? So, but usually the one step above rule works, or a uniform. Now, I'll repeat this again. The only speech you have to get dressed up for is your persuasive speech. All right? That's the one step above. So knowing how college students dress, jeans, t-shirts, sweatshirts, something like that, you might dress one step above. Why? Because it's all credibility, and especially for a persuasive speech. All right? Because we might not want to go where you're taking us. So we really have to put our trust in you. All right? So credibility, right there, and close, that plays a big part. All right? When you watch your speeches for your political speech critique, you're going to pay attention to that. I'll probably repeat this story, but the very second semester, so I taught this class. Not many people do governors, but Governor Granholm, Jennifer Granholm, governor of the state of Michigan for a long time ago, she gave a State of the State speech. And I had like 3 women in the class who watched it, and they all pointed the same thing out. She wore a black dress. And the economy in Michigan was really in the tank, not doing very well. And she wore a black dress, and all 3 women made a note she shouldn't have worn a black dress for that speech because it looked like she was at a funeral, and it looked like the state. She was implying the state was dead. I'm like, that's pretty perceptive, okay? So you might point out the tie that the person's wearing, or maybe they're not wearing a tie, okay? The shirt they're wearing, the dress they're wearing, the pants, whatever, okay? Even the jewelry they're wearing. You know, right after 9/11, every politician, all right, was wearing a U.S. flag pin, and they still do. Before that, no. All right. So, one step above, clothes, big factor. All right. I don't know enough about perfume and cologne to go into that. All right. So clothes, big thing. Gestures. Since we started talking about that, let's go on. Gestures. Why are gestures important? Now remember, we talked about on Tuesday that if you're nervous, why are gestures good? Remember?
Because they're focused on your hands.
Oh, well, all right. Keep that, hold that. Yeah.
Because moving around will really very good.
Yeah. We said moving around actually helps get rid of anxiety. If you've got nervous energy, yeah. Moving your hands and such helps. But yeah, getting the attention of the audience. That's the second reason. All right. How many of you, let's say you're sitting in a chair. You're just sitting in a chair, maybe watching TV, maybe you're reading a book, I don't know, maybe you're texting or something. You're just sitting in a chair, inside, outside, doesn't really matter. Mind your own business. All of a sudden, just you're kind of straight like this, just out of the corner of your eye, you see something move. Maybe it's, if you're outside, you see a leaf blowing, or you see a cat move, or something. There's something in your peripheral vision. You see some movement, and you immediately turn that way. We've all done that, right? Because movement attracts attention. It always does. It always has. It does all the time, all right? We're not paying attention to it. We see movement. We look that way. That same principle applies when you're giving a speech. If I'm up here giving the greatest speech of my life, but I'm standing perfectly still, you're going to pay attention for a while. Then your eyes are going to wander. Because it's like looking at the same picture. Right? It's like if you were watching television and you heard words, but the image never changed. After a while, it's like, all right, I'm getting kind of bored, okay? You got to have some movement. That's what gestures are about. I'm not saying you have to go crazy and wave around and go like, look at me, look at me. Just a few gestures. And the gesture should always fit the speech, all right? I mean, I use gestures a lot. I just always do, okay? But hopefully they fit in with what I'm talking about, okay? All right, they're always fitting in. But the gestures, that's an important thing. They're movement. And we all use them. We all use them. Some are amplifiers, they're called. Some are amplifiers, which, you know, we don't, well, let me get back. We use them, and yeah, these are our amplifiers, I guess. Imagine if someone asks you for directions, all right? Probably 95, 90, close to 99% of us, when we give directions, we use hands, all right? Think about it. If someone asks you, you know, how do I get to Union Street? More often than not, you go down the street, make a right, do this, right, go straight, and make a left. Fewer people are doing that because of GPS and everything. But, you know, typically you use your hands. This. Now, yeah, gestures alone aren't enough. I mean, imagine if someone asked you for directions and you said nothing. If you merely went, they said, well, I'm going to use GPS. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? Something's wrong with him. So yeah, you have to use words. But those gestures, they kind of amplify what you're talking about. All right? So they help. Now, there are certain kinds of gestures that I'm going to want you to be using. There's certain kind of gestures that when you watch your speeches, you're going to be seeing. All right? For example, Obama did this a lot. Okay? If I'm giving a speech, I'm standing here, and I'm saying, and I want you, and you, and you, all right? Pointing at people. Is he pointing to anyone in particular? If that person's sick, I hope not. I'd be nervous if he was. He's just pointing in general direction. You, you, you. What is he doing? He's emphasizing what he's talking about. What he's saying at that particular time, he wants everyone to get on board. Get on board. You get on board. You. Everyone get on board. So you're going to be using that. Look for that. Okay? So, you know, just anytime, and then when you see this, oh, that wasn't very loud. Yeah, moving on. It's always more fun when they do that and they jump up. It's like they're like half asleep. It gives me a perverse pleasure when they do that. But you didn't cooperate. So, but yeah, if you're giving a speech, all right, and you see someone pounding on the podium, all right, what are they doing? What does that mean? Do they just want to make noise and they just want to look crazy? Yeah.
Shows their passion for what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're passionate. It's like, man, I really want you to pay attention. I mean, if they're going up there, the first two ones, hello everyone, I'm really happy to be here today. You're a great audience. But no, it's like, okay, you know, this guy's on something. Okay, it's like the speech we watched the first day, Phil Davison, all right? That's too much. But if he's pounding on the podium at a certain time, it means pay attention right now. I'm really focused on what I'm talking about. And this is a time in my speech you should be focused on me, all right? So there are some parts, some gestures that you're going to use for a specific purpose. The pointing, the pounding, all right? Those are gestures you want to use, all right? Some are simply for movement's sake, because you want your audience to focus on you, to look at you. Gestures are important. It's something you get graded on, okay? You gotta use gestures. Kind of related to that is, well, I use movement, but walking. I don't grade you on this because not many students do it, and it's tough. It's tough. You know, I mentioned walking and movement is good for if you have some anxiety and nervousness too. It takes practice to do this if you're a speaker. All right, it takes a lot of practice. How could you do this? Well, I mentioned one that doesn't take practice. You know, I said that if you're using like PowerPoint or something and you've got charts up here, rather than use the little pointer which we have, you can actually walk over here and point to things. That's movement. And people are watching you because if you're walking, that's movement instead of looking at you. But here's what you can do. Let's say you got a 5-minute speech. You have a 5-minute speech. All right. So maybe you're staying up here in the middle of the audience, right here in the front of the room, and you talk for a minute like this. Then you want to do some movement. So you walk over here slowly. That's the key word, slowly. You walk over here to the side of the room. Maybe you talk for a minute and a half. You talk to everyone over here. Are you talking to anyone in particular? No, that would freak them out. But you talk to this side of the room. Not only does that movement get their attention, but it kind of builds a relationship. This side's thinking, wow, he thought enough about us that he's coming over here to talk to us. After a minute, you come over here. You stop back here, talk for a minute, 30 seconds, something like that. Then, to show that you don't favor anyone, you come to this side. You talk for like a minute, all right? Just over here. And then you end your speech over here. I've had a few students do that, all right? You can tell they practiced it. It really is nice. It really is nice. Again, it builds that relationship, and it has people looking at you because you're walking around, you're moving, okay? Not just your hands, but everything. Now, if you're going to be doing that, how many of you are familiar with, what's his name, Kelsey Grammer, the actor, comedian? Used to be on Cheers, used to be in, what was it, another show? Oh, I can't think of it now. But he's a comedian on TV, he's been in some movies and such. Anyway, he was on a stage, and you might want to do this. If you're ever on a stage and you plan on walking or moving around in any way on the stage, on your note cards, maybe draw like a cross or something, and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to be in this quadrant, here, here, here. Because Kelsey Grammer didn't do that. He was so much into speaking, into talking, he walked off the stage and fell into the pit. So don't do that, all right? So if you're going to be doing some walking, be careful. Always know where you're at, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. So the gestures, walking, so important. We touched on eye contact. Eye contact is so important. I even wrote that down in some of your introduction speeches, okay? Eye contact is so important. You should be looking at your audience. I don't know what the new edition says. Up to like 80-90% of your speech. I don't think anyone looked at it that much. But that's tough. 80-90% of the time, you should be looking at your audience, not your note cards. And it goes all the way back. Come on. It's credibility again. Okay? I'm selling Veronica a car. Okay? And it's been taken care of regularly. Oil changes, everything's great. I used to say it was only driven by an old lady at a church on Sunday. It's a really great car, perfect shape. So I'm telling you all this. I'm saying everything you want to hear, Veronica, everything you want to hear about this car. But the whole time I'm telling you this, I'm not looking at you in the eye. I'm looking up in the sky. Right? I'm kicking an imaginary stone. All right? That's not really there. I'm looking everywhere but except at you. Are you going to buy that car? Why not? I'm saying everything you want to hear.
Because it's unprofessional. It makes me seem like you're lying.
Exactly. You know, in Western cultures, if you can't look us in the eye, we don't believe you, right? You've got to look me in the eye. I don't trust you. Now, in other cultures, Eastern cultures, not the same thing. You've got to earn that trust to look someone in the eye, especially if it's an older person. But here in Michigan, all right, you got to look me in the eye. It's the same thing for a speech, especially for a persuasive speech, but for any speech. If I'm not looking at you in the eye, if I've got this whole audience here and I'm not looking at you, that audience isn't going to trust me. Even if it's about a devil's food cake. I'm going to think, she's making this up. She's never done this, all right? Why should I believe? Why should I believe a word he's saying? He's not looking at me. So when we talked about, if you can't look an audience in the eye, that really gets you stressed out, looking at slightly above, maybe at the hairline, yeah, you got to do that, okay? Because just looking at your notes the whole time, it'll affect your grade, but it's going to affect your speech. Your audience is not going to believe you. They're not going to pay attention to you. Maybe they'll pay attention to you, but they're not going to believe you. You've got to look us in the eye. Now, I'm going to go off on a tangent here about your speech on Tuesday, all right? Because these two things, gestures and eye contact is sport especially, that's going to be tough. Because your speech on Tuesday is the manuscript speech where you're reading to us. Manuscript speech is tough to use eye contact. Gestures you can, but eye contact is very tough. Why do you think it's tough? Why do you think it's tough? Yeah.
Because it's not your own words, or
It's not your own words for one thing. Yeah, it's true. It's not your own words, and you want to be true to those words because they're not your words. And how are you being true to those words? You're reading them, right? All your future speeches, I don't want you to read your speeches word for word. You're going to have note cards. We'll talk about you should just have a few words on those note cards and practice it. The one on Tuesday, I told you just print out 3 minutes of a speech. And you're going to come up here and you're going to just bring up your speech here, look at us, tell us a little bit background on the speech for 10 seconds or so. You're going to start reading it. You've only got one pair of eyes, right? So you can either be reading the speech and looking at that speech, or looking at us. Well, if you're reading the speech, you can't be looking at us, right? So it's tough to look at your audience when you're reading a speech. As a speechwriter, that's the only kind of speech I wrote, all right? People don't want me to give them like note cards with just a couple words on it. That'd be nice, but that's not what they want. They want an entirely written, word-for-word speech. That's what you're going to be reading on Tuesday. So you can't look at us all the time. And what gets you in trouble sometimes, if you've got the whole speech here and you're reading it, oh, I should look at the audience. So you look at the audience, you look down, okay, where was I? Okay, then you read, that doesn't look good. So what can you do? What can you do? There's a couple things. If you've got a manuscript speech, there's a couple things you can do. Not good for the environment. I'm going to warn you now. We're going to cut down a couple trees, but this is what you do. One, you just write on half a page. So if you've got an 8.5 by 11 paper, you only print on the top half. All right, you only print on the top half. So that's good for two things. One, not so much for you guys, but in the longer speeches, you're not going like this up and down reading the paper. You're just reading the top half. For you, it's easy because there's not so much to look at. You just got the top half, and that's it. All right. So it's less likely that if you look at us, you're going to get lost. What else do you do? Okay. I did bad G, large type font. You know, maybe 32 point or something like that. Something really, really big. It's more difficult to get lost if you've got big words and everything like that. And maybe you use a highlighter, not a black one, but like a yellow, blue, something like that, and you highlight certain words. And you see a blue highlight mark, that's a reminder. Look up at the audience. Okay? Manuscript speeches are tough for eye contact, no doubt about it. So I'm going to judge pretty loose on that. Okay? But you want to look at us as much as you can. The gestures, that's tough sometimes because if you're holding the paper, that's where you can use the podium, but you can only use it as much as you can. Okay? All right. Any questions at all on the nonverbal? This is half of it. Another class, next class, we'll talk about the rest of it. I'm not done yet, though. I want to show you a really, really bad video movie. But nonverbal, so important. Because your words are only some of the speech. We're going to be watching you, and we want to see everything. We want to see everything. The clothes you wear, only for your persuasive piece, but your gestures are important, okay? Few people have their hands in the pocket. No hands in the pocket. You know what? I mean, here's the thing. They always say speech should be like you're talking to friends. When you're friends, you're going to be relaxed, hands in your pocket. You don't want your hands in the pocket. That's too long, okay? Okay, now for the cheesy video. It's a cheesy video. It's an old video, 1949. I wasn't around, okay? But here's the thing. I never, ever found a better video that talked about this subject, posture. Because here's the thing. Like I said in another class, that goes away. That goes away, I think, after your manuscript speech. You got to talk to us. Even with that, if you have bad posture, it was bad. I've had people use that and just lean over. Posture is important. Posture has something to do with that credibility. If I'm giving a speech and I'm just slouched over, all right? Lately I get a lot of people who stand here. All right, there's points for that. Never do that. Because if you look so relaxed that you don't care, we're not going to care. It's like, whoop, I'm not wasting those 5-6 minutes on this person. So posture is so important. But yeah, I do wish I had found a better video on this. Oh, not this one. We're not going to watch that one. Okay, so we'll watch this. Come on. But, like I said, it's not great, but, man, everything they say is true.
The ear is the human organ the
That's not
public
real
speaker
ear.
is most likely to try to impress as he makes a speech. But did you ever think of the importance of the eye? The importance of what the listener sees as well as hears? Now just suppose you were a beautiful doll with rosy cheeks and big blue eyes. A doll that never talked. Or a tree that basked in the warm sunshine and rustled in the breeze. A tree that never spoke. Or suppose you were a spring flower, contrasting your colors with the blue sky. Do you know how you would be judged? You'd be judged mostly by your appearance, by the way you looked. Appearance is the basis of what's a little... A man's prosperity is often judged by the appearance of his home, and thus is man himself judged. Yes, appearance is important. Appearance is a powerful factor, and appearance is something you can control. In public speaking, your appearance may make the difference between a good speech and a poor one. Your appearance may help convince your audience you know what you're talking about, or it may convince them you don't know what you're talking about. A good appearance is something that everyone should strive for, something everyone can accomplish. It begins with the feet. Seems strange, but having your shoes shined will help you make a better speech. It will help your general appearance and make you feel better. Then you should have your suit cleaned and pressed, just for your talk. This will help you look successful. Be sure to wear a clean shirt. And your favorite tie. Be sure your hair is neat and clean, and you're all ready to go. Yes, sir, you're all dressed up and you're ready to go. You feel great, but wait a minute. There's a lot more to appearance than just having your necktie straight, your hair combed, and your teeth brushed. The most important one element of your appearance is your posture. Your posture may be more convincing to your audience than the words you say to them. Depending upon your posture, this can be good or bad. Because
That's a
your
tough-looking audience, man.
subconsciously judges you as much by what they see as what they hear you say, and they'll see you before they hear you. The effectiveness of a brilliant speech can be greatly diminished by poor posture. Why? Because your audience thinks about what they see as well as what they hear. If your posture is poor, your
Remember I told you about not drinking before a speech?
This poor fellow isn't sharp. He's weary and confused.
That guy did.
He doesn't care about us,
It's a
and
joke.
he probably doesn't know what he's talking about. And you are puzzled. Why has your speech failed? Mister, you don't look good, that's why. What your audience sees is so bad they can't hear what you're saying. Now, good platform posture...
Okay, now they're going to show like, I think, 4 different kinds of bad posture. I've seen them all in this class. I've seen them all.
The body should be held erect and tall,
I think
with
they're
the
going
head
to.
up. Secondly, good posture
Oh,
is a
well,
matter
in a
of the
second.
mind, your mind. In your thinking, you must convince yourself you will think tall, talk tall, stand tall, and walk tall. Remember that you must think tall, talk tall, stand tall, and walk tall. This will help you with your posture and your speech. Now, good posture serves more of a purpose than just making you look better. It helps you to be comfortable because it keeps you well balanced on the platform.
All right, here we go.
Poor balance,
All 4
along with
examples,
poor
had them all.
causes some of the characteristic types of speakers you have seen. This type knows his subject and has good control of his voice. But look at him. He looks almost too tired to stand up. He balances first on one leg, then on the other. He's the tired farm horse type. Then there's Miss Prim,
Yeah, a
the
lot of
speaker
this
who
one.
stands straight, tall, and rigid. She seems to be afraid she'll break, and she looks frightened and excessively formal. She keeps her feet clamped tightly together. We know her as the telephone pole type. Next we have the He-Man athletic type. You've often seen him. He stands with his shoulders back and his stomach out, and his feet wide apart. He looks undignified, and soon his awkward posture tires him, and he rocks back and forth for relief. He's the rocking horse type. Lastly, we come to the type who leans. He leans on the table, back of a chair, or anything handy. In trying to be nonchalant and at ease, he makes himself thoroughly uncomfortable. He is the turtle type. All four common types look awkward, partially because they're off balance. Good balance results from having the bodily weight
Don't do this up on
both feet,
the stage.
and in having the feet
They're gonna show
just the
you.
right distance apart for comfort. You can determine this distance by making the knee test. Place the palms of your hands on both knees and make an easy circular motion with the hands and knees.
This works at
If
parties
your feet
too.
are the correct distance apart, the weight will be evenly distributed as you change position. You'll be well balanced and comfortable. You'll look poised and dignified. With your feet too far apart, you'll have difficulty in standing up. Because you're off balance, you may fall either forward or backward. With your feet too close together, you're still off balance and you're uncomfortable. Try it until you find the easiest and most comfortable position. Then note the location of your feet. Always try to keep your feet in this position when you are speaking, and you won't have to worry about balance. And with good balance, you've conquered another phase of good appearance. Now remember that appearance is important, and that good appearance is easily accomplished. Just remember to think tall, talk tall, stand tall, and walk tall, and to achieve good balance. For good posture and appearance will greatly increase your ability as a speaker and a leader.
So, anybody want to try that little thing up here? Shall prove it? You want to try it? Okay, come on.
What is it again? Oh, the knee thing.
Yeah, so try your legs far apart and see if you can do the.
What is it like?
First, you gotta try it. Well, you put first.
Isn't it like this?
That's good. That's a good stance. Put your legs far apart though. Try it.
It's not that hard. I got good balance.
Yeah. All right.
See?
All right.
It's not that difficult.
All right. Well, forget him. Watch the movie. Watch the movie. It's better. I've had people do that and they would fall all over the place. He's a bad example. So still, it's good to have just stand apart like that. Yeah, I should have called that. But yeah, it is a good example. And trust me, you don't want. Let's turn it off. You don't want the bad posture end of it. There we go. I've had so many students who kind of forget that they're up here. I'm trying to think. Get offhand. No chewing gum. I mentioned it the first class. Yeah. It just doesn't look good. It's bad. It's for gestures and appearance sake. People are going to think like that. Trying to think. Any questions at all about this with the nonverbal? It's important to remember, obviously, for your speeches, but how you're going to apply it to your political speech critique. Remember, you're going to watch a at least 15-minute long speech. I forget when it's due, okay? But you're going to watch it and apply what we've talked about in class to it. A lot of what we've talked about today, you're going to apply. Don't just say, though, she was really good at gestures, all right? For those papers, I'm going to look for examples. When she said, blah, 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 it was great that she pointed to the audience. When he pounded on the table, when he said, blah, 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 whatever, I thought it was maybe too much. It was too over the top, like that. Definitely, say, I thought it was a good idea she wore, this outfit because of this and this, or, he shouldn't have worn a tie because of this and this, or whatever, okay? But you're going to apply a lot because, whatever speech you watch, the camera is going to be on that speaker the whole time, probably, all right? So you're going to be looking and seeing, okay, do they use a lot of gestures? Not a lot of gestures. What gestures do they use exactly? How are they dressed and such? You're going to be focusing on that, all right? You're going to be focusing on that. Any questions at all on your speech on Tuesday? Yeah?
Do you want us to have it on note cards or can we have it on?
You can, whatever's better for you. You shouldn't have to write it all out or print it all out or type it all out. If you do what I said like that, even if you do like the transcripts things, if you just like kind of copy and paste it, just like copy some of it, make it larger font, you should be able to do that. So, but definitely make sure you practice the time. That's the only homework it is, I think. Finding a speech that, from a world leader that you think, you like or cause, and practice it. Again, I'll give you like a 30-second break. So between 2 minutes and 30 seconds and 3 minutes and 30 seconds, no points off. 2 to 2:30, maybe a couple points, 3:30 to 4, a couple points, something like that. So yeah, the only thing you really want to practice on is well, you definitely want to practice the timing. Don't think you have to sound exactly like the person who originally gave it. Sound like you. We haven't covered voice yet. We will next class. But try to use gestures. Consider using it so you can look at this whenever you can. Any other questions? In terms of, because I still haven't given you a revised syllabus for this book. If you just read the chapters, like skip 1, remember, you haven't got the book yet, you don't have to read chapter 1. But read chapters 2, 3, and 4. Let's see. Yeah, 2, 3, and 4. And you should be okay. And then just start practicing your speech for Tuesday. Any other questions? No? All right, I will see you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.
Good luck with today's lesson.